I'm Justin Freeman. I'm from the Monarch, Denver. Just want to showcase some pizzas to everyone. Once you add Taleggio to this pizza and a little fontina, so like creamy, like melty, funky cheeses with like super charred, slightly sweet, spicy broccoli and garlic. I mean, seems like a win to me.
Spicy broccoli pizza. Spicy broccoli pizza.
Spicy broccoli pizza. So I get the broccolinis because I like them. They're sweet and tender, especially being able to use the whole broccoli. I cut a little of the knob off the bottom of it just because it felt a little bit woody. I'm gonna season this with olive oil, salt, and throw it into the pizza oven until it becomes like slightly charred and like a little bit crispy. If I was doing this in a household oven, I would do like 400 degrees. I'd go pretty light on my olive oil. It's just enough to help coat it. All I had was extra virgin, so that's what I'm using today. Sorry, we're outside, so use salt, and then I'm going to massage all of it together, and then we're going to just throw it in the oven and kind of keep an eye on it. With cooking, especially the way that I enjoy cooking, using sounds, smell, taste everything throughout the whole entire process, and it's a great way to make sure that you know what's going on. I'm gonna season it also, since I have it here, with a little bit of dried oregano because I like the flavor, and we'll hit it with, to make it spicy, we'll hit it with some chili flakes. You can see I have a pretty light layer of oil. Do a little bit more. And then I'm just going to throw it in the oven and keep an eye on it. I always compared like the cooking of the broccoli to having either like that uncle or that family member who takes the broccoli way too far on the grill and you're still forced to eat it. How do you make those like super charry, like caramelized flavors of broccoli that kind of can remind you and bring you back to like some good times near the lake or ocean or wherever you might have been. Like really just make it into something super tasty. And then you can hide those like bitter sweet notes, not hide it, but enhance that flavor with some like melty gooey cheese. Just thin slices. It's going to go in raw. Since the oven's at 700, everything will cook, and it'll be like the last topping we do. You can start to see it starting to char a little bit, and then while that's happening, I'm just going to kind of move it all around. My hands are pretty calloused, so you can use tongs. Just kind of keep on moving them around. You'll start to see like it's slightly charring on just the florets. That's perfectly okay. You want to make sure that like the actual stem itself is going to be tender. So you start seeing it's like steaming a little bit, which is great. This is what you want. Really just developing like charred flavors, which is awesome. It probably needs like another like 4 minutes or so. Broccoli has been charred. The stems, if you look at it from right here, are like super tender to the touch. So I'll pull that out. I'm gonna let that cool down for a second. This can make about like 8 pizzas. I think really depends on how you like your style. For me, pizza is more about the bread, and everything else kind of accompanying it. So I don't go that heavy on my stuff. Bite size, so like you get a piece for every bite. Constantly taste your stuff. Anytime I'm ever cooking for anybody, I'm never hungry when I'm actually eating, or when everyone else should be eating, because I've just been picking all day. But it's important to know like what your stuff tastes like. So I usually will taste this before I add any extra salt, see where I'm at with with everything. And then I can start really gauging on like what I'm looking for this to taste like. We have our garlic and our broccoli in here. I'm going to add some more olive oil and fat to it. A little more salt, maybe some Maldon salt. So I like it when it's crunchy. I'm going to definitely do more chili flake because I want it super spicy. Spanish bittersweet vinegar made from Cabernet. It's almost like a balsamic, but it has a little more of a punch. Super nice. I don't know where you can find it in the any grocery, sorry. But if you can find like a balsamic, I think balsamics go really well. Bittersweet aged sherry would be really nice too. It'll give it that punch that you're looking for. And you know what? We're gonna add some cheese. as it's here. Mix it all together. I think the best part about being a pizza person is you just use your hands for everything. Really like mixing in all the flavor. Trying to get the salt crushed into that guy, the cheese really going in with the broccoli, really bring all the flavors out. I'm into it. A little more chili flake. Some more dried oregano. Why not? I'm gonna splash more. With cooking, especially making something like pizza or making toppings, like just taste it and go for it. Don't be afraid. More flavor, the better. What I'm looking for is, how do I describe this? I'm really just looking for something like spicy and slightly sweet. If I had some like honey or agave, I'd also throw that in there too. To kind of like brighten all the stuff up. It'll help bring out some of the sweetness inside the broccoli, and the char, and it'll bring out a little bit of the char flavor. So really what I'm looking for in flavor is just like, was it up to the spice level? Do I have enough salt? And then do I have enough fat and acidity to kind of cut all the way through it is really what I'm looking for. And that's with everything. I think what I try to do at Monarch or any place I ever work is, the biggest goal for me is to hit. I don't want somebody to leave completely full, but I want them to leave completely satisfied. So the way you can leave satisfied is with flavor and tastes. So if I can hit every part of your taste buds, then I think we've won. Oven's like pretty much there, so we're at like 640. Takes about like 30 to 40 minutes. What you're really looking for in it is like that the stone itself. If you're going to use like a pizza oven like stone, it's been sitting in the oven for at least 30 minutes. So your stone has some time to like keep and retain some of that heat. So a quick rundown on my pizza dough. I've been working on this dough for 7 years or so, if not more. It's all whole wheat, fully organic, whole wheat organic double O flour from Central Milling, whole wheat stone ground, Central Milling, a little bit of spelt from dry storage up in Boulder. Then there is a little bit of a starter that I brought back with me from New York. When I moved here, that starter started at Tartine in San Francisco. It's truly mine now. I mix it for about 30 to 40 minutes or so. It rests in all these for another 30. I then add my salt at the end. I add a little bit of maple syrup because it's whole wheat. I want the flavors to really come out of the wheat and the flavor of the bread itself. Bulk ferments, so it means that I make my dough ball and then it ferments for 24 hours. So before I can even put it into this final resting shape where it sits and gains flavor and picks up on all the stuff. Mixing bowl, I do semolina and a little bit of flour. The dough itself doesn't eat like a Neapolitan, and it doesn't really eat like a New York style pizza. I like semolina because of what it does to the pizza, where it like makes the crust super crispy on the outside, but I can still get really fluffy bread in the middle, and that's really what I think it's about. The ingredients I have for our broccoli is going to be Marscapone Taleggio, New York style shredded cheese, which is low moisture mozzarella, provolone, both feather shredded, and then I have grated grana padano, or you can just use Parmesan. So I always tell everyone I kind of start my dough off by in the middle. I push out as much of the air to my crust as I can. Once that's done, I then kind of steering wheel the pizza dough through my hands. And then once it relaxes, I start to pull. When I pull, I'm really just looking to make sure that like I don't really touch the crust, and then I'm getting like even pull throughout the whole entire pizza. Throwing that on my peel.
Rearrange your patience, and the
oven's at like 700 degrees, which is like for this dough perfect. Just as important as building, I honestly think like knowing what your pizza dough looks like and what it sounds like in the oven is just as important. You can like kind of see like start to see like where the rise is happening. Like that's exactly what I see. But like since it's your first dough, also like a lot of the time the stove might be too hot. So just like kind of important just to kind of keep an eye on what and how it's cooking. Pizza's done. Biggest next thing is going to be that you can hold your pizza up like this. You can start to see that I have like some nice colorization on the bottom of it. I think you can probably go a little bit more, but where my crust is, if you like, I don't know if you can hear this, but there is like a crunch that you can get from it, which is exactly what you're looking for. Again, my dough is not Neapolitan. And it's not New York. When eating it, you're gonna get more of a mahogany around the side, like lightly golden brown, and a lot of that has to do with like I throw maple syrup into here for the sweetness of the wheat, but also it'll also cook and caramelize inside the pizza a little bit. I have these guys. You can buy them anywhere. You can do a sheet tray with a rack. It's important that they sit for a second so that like the cheese one kind of melts all back together, but also that you have no more steaming happening. Once that's done, you can then put it on here. I cut my pizzas first and then always season at the end. So all cut. This is gonna have a little, I finished with a little bit of Maldon salt. I crush in my hand. A little bit more of chili flakes, a little more dried oregano, and then I finish with grated Parmesan cheese. If you have a lemon, you can throw some lemon on top of it. But other than that, you're ready to go. Holds up, nice and thin. Everything's spread out pretty nicely.
Spicy broccoli pizza. Spicy broccoli pizza.
Spicy broccoli pizza.
Rearrange your patience and the mark picture in so many places. Ghosts in the sky, no, I'll never lie. I live forever and I'll never die. Never die, I'll never die. Same beat, sound the same tracks, sound the same slaves. And the flames cheat with the fangs changes in our lanes. Don't trade back around. Infinity and five till I count all those paces to infinity and five.